Since the dawn of time, man has been curious. And for almost as long, the Vibes Broadcast Network has sought the truth. Investigate, discuss, explore. Okay, maybe in other episodes, but this one is just listen to the vibes.
The views and opinions of our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the host or the Vibes Broadcast Network. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And I have here Miss Teresa Moerer, and she is a physical therapist, an author, a speaker. She helps not only people with the physical attributes, but she also helps people in business. And I was telling her before we got started that I'm kind of biased because physical therapists are my heroes. They've helped me through my injuries and my spinal surgeries and other things that have, plagued me through the years. And I'm very appreciative of them. When I saw her and saw what she did, I was like, I have to have this person on my show. And so, Teresa, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, yeah, and thanks for having me today. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm a Midwesterner. I've been in the Midwest all of my life. I was born in Nebraska and raised kind of in Kansas City for most of my years, and then I've also lived in Kansas and Iowa. Last 23 years, I think, here in Iowa. Oh. So Midwesterner. When I grew up, a little bit of my backstory is I always knew that I had a lot of compassion for people. Now I'm not always the nicest person. I have my moments,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But, I have a lot of compassion for people and I like to see them do well. And I always remember that feeling from way back in my childhood. And I also love the arts. I love creativity. I love people being like their own person. And that just, the other thing about me is I'm a huge introvert, as I'm finding many of my fellow business, small business owners and entrepreneurs are introverts, which is kind of surprising, but I'm finding more and more about that. But anyway, so that's a little bit about me. And I just chose physical therapy as a career in high school. I knew that pairing my love of, and even like science, I love science and working with people, but I thought physical therapy would be a good route for me. And, I took that route. I went, graduated in Kansas City from Rockhurst University. And then I made my way into the career. And I decided to be a clinician, for the last 36 years. And that afforded me time to be with my family. And raised 3 children. They are now out of the nest. We're empty nesters now. But that is my first priority, is my family. And so that was a good part about my career. And I love the healing aspect of physical therapy. And I always, deep down, I was really working really mentally and physically hard to get my patients to 100%. And that's just, what I enjoy doing. So that's a little bit about my background story. And yeah.
Well, I love my children, but I'm looking forward to that empty nest syndrome. They're all in their mid-20s, but it seems like when one leaves, another one moves back in.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But hey, having the grandkids here, that's I think the best part of it. But I'm like you. I've had a passion to help people, and this show is kind of my way of helping, bringing people on that have some inspiration and, some motivation, something positive to share with everyone. And I kind of lose that passion when I'm in traffic, but that's another story.
Right. Yeah.
But you were saying earlier before we started that you were kind of starting your own business as far as the physical therapy goes, and then helping others with their business.
Yes, I am. And how this kind of started, it was like 15 years ago. I found like a method of therapy that really worked with my creative side.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then I also saw the patients doing this, and what it was, it's group therapy, working together as a group. And we also did like multidisciplinary group therapy, which meant, physical, occupational, and speech therapy would work together. And I just saw the patients react to this so positively that I put a framework around it. And then I held on to it for about 15 years because Medicare was paying for this therapy, and then they stopped paying, or paying like as well for the therapy. So a lot of facilities discontinued it.
Mm.
So anyway, about, I think it was 13 years later, I was actually taking care of my own mother at this time.
Okay.
And yeah, so people were coming up to me and my sister saying, what can I do with my aging parents? So I decided I would write a book, and I did. And it's called The Art of Assisting Aging Parents. And in there, I put my framework and my method for helping people achieve their highest level of function.
Mm.
And yeah, so now I'm taking that framework and I'm bringing it into businesses to positively affect, not only the mental space, but like the physical space. And I just know how important the environment is and group interactions are for health.
Mm.
And I actually teach a course, on this for therapists, and I unpack all the health benefits of being in a group. And it's huge. It's, being in a group of people is one of the healthiest things you can do for your life.
It's nice to have that support. It's not always easy to do this stuff when it's just you doing it, But I wanted to bring up, this is what I've noticed. Whenever I first started having problems with my back, I went to the city doctor that I used to work for the city down near Houston, and all they wanted to do was throw medicine at me, the pain pills and the muscle relaxers. And although that it helped, that wasn't solving the problem. And once again, started having the problems, sent me back to the doctor, same thing. About the third time, I'm like, okay, this is not solving the problem. You're masking it. So to have a program where you can actually do something to avoid the problems, or to maybe help you through it without the use of all these pills and things, because I swear that's all they want to do is just throw pills at you. I find that to be very important. I guess that's part of your aspect of what you do.
Yes, it is. And yeah, and I actually, as I teach people, what we do in group therapy is we bring across, and I'm going to interrupt myself a minute. I'm going to turn on a little more light. But I forgot to turn that light on before we started.
That's okay.
Not that I want light on me, but it might help. But anyway, yes, what I do, is I get a group of people together, and we do a therapeutic activity, and people start interacting with each other, and they start brainstorming, and they start helping each other. And then they look at each other and they watch people, and they grow from that experience, actually learn how to do things better. And they become teachers of others. During our group therapy, sometimes we'll have people get up and teach an exercise, or, or bring about, oh, look how, he's keeping his balance while he's, painting a picture on a foam, standing on a piece of foam, and look at what he's doing. I mean, we bring all these things up so that people learn from that. But the other thing about it is the play aspect. And there's actually a group now that teaches people how to play. And that actually decreases your level of pain.
Oh.
And yeah, and if you notice, if you go out and if you do things that are fun and lift your spirits and decrease your anxiety, I think you'll notice your pain level go down. And that's where we bring in this play. And as therapists, we're used to handing a sheet of exercises to people, say, okay, go do these exercises,
Yeah.
But I think we're getting away from that a little bit and saying, let's bring in some other therapeutic activities that are actually going to help your mind and your body. And there are studies that show that, having fun and playing actually do decrease your pain, and, they increase your mobility. So there's a lot to this. And I think we're just starting to unpack this as therapists, finding out there's a lot more that we can do for people. So and that's where I'm coming in, and I'm bringing this program in and saying, I want to help you, like build a better product, or build yourself up, into a better state, so that you can be even more creative and help others, not only yourself, but help others function.
Yeah, when you can make a game out of it, it doesn't seem as much like work. Like with the kids, if you make a game out of picking up their toys and clothes and all that kind of stuff, then they're more apt to do it and then get the job done correctly. Now, when it comes to, I know a lot of people are different. Some people do work better alone, but do you find that there's a lot more confidence in people when they're working in a group? It's almost like part of them is kind of coming out to share some of them already have the answers in their head. They just haven't gotten them out yet. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yes. You build that teamwork, and you work as a team. And when you're working as a team, you tend to work a little harder. Even if you were to go out with a group of friends and say, like, take a run, if you were stretching ahead of time, you're probably going to do it a little bit better. You're probably going to try a little bit harder to stretch your muscles, because you're in this group of people, and you're like, well, I need to step up to the plate here and be, a part of this group, And even, you can think of a football team or a baseball team or whoever. They are in a team, and they are, helping each other, to win that game. And I see it in my patients, they'll give each other pointers, or they'll start these conversations about the past. I have a gardening group, and, it's funny, the stories they bring up about the gardens they used to have, or if they were farmers. I'm kind of in a rural area in Iowa, a lot of farmers. And it's funny how the men get into planting more, sometimes than the women, but they share these stories, and then they challenge each other, with certain activities. So yeah, it's a very positive thing. And then there's everything behind the scenes, chemically, your body changes, when you're in a group. And there's another thing about groups, is it's called weak ties. And a weak tie is somebody that's not a real close, person, or like a close friend or a relative. They're probably going to pat you on the back a little bit more, but your weak ties will give you information that, you may not even know about, such as I'm just thinking of like rehab. If you get a group of people together, you might find out about a support group that you didn't know about, in town. Or, I've had people tell me about jobs that I wouldn't know about. And I'm not necessarily close to these people, but it's just a weak tie, So weak ties can be, they can be invaluable to your life. And again, it helps with your longevity.
Yeah, well, the networking alone, I've noticed, like I joined this one group. It's called Alignable. I don't know if you've heard of that website, but you've got not only people that are in your area, but a lot of people that are, they have similar interests of what you're doing. And before you know it, you've made this connection, that connection. And then almost you've got a great group of people that are helping each other to be successful. And I think that's what it's all about. You can't you can't do everything on your own. And now you were talking about the gardening. I will say that it is a therapy for me. I have a vegetable garden, and to grow something, and then to pick it and to cook it and all that, there's something fulfilling about that. It also inspired me to do my own baking. No more out of the box. Everything is homemade, and I guess that's an encouragement that you bring to your people as well.
Yes, yeah. Just many different ways to incorporate this into your life, just the positive aspects of being in a group. Okay. And
Now, is there a specific target of business that you're helping with, or is it open to anyone?
Yeah, it's really open to anyone that wants to, succeed. I actually I have my framework. I call it Experi-Age
Hmm.
because I believe in the, experiences at every age to develop us. That's how we grow our brains and bodies is through experiences. So I actually help people, I have a 4-step method, and I teach people like healthy lifestyle strategies because really the healthier you are, the better you're going to feel, the better
Oh,
you're going to do.
oh, for
Yeah, so
sure.
that's kind of the first step. I teach, and then I teach people how to find how to find their strengths. I use a couple educational theories, and we of course we work better when we work from our strengths. But that
Mhm.
does shed light on our weaknesses, and you know I tell people too that you can develop any of your like intelligences, um and you need to, because you need them through the rest of your life. So if you're ignoring, like if you might be ignoring a big piece of your life or a
Mhm.
big piece of your brain. And I'm very much into knowing, like with the neuroplasticity, you can change your brain up until you die. I mean, your brain is plastic. So, I teach people how to change their brains, and it might involve some risk taking or, and a couple things I do every day for myself is I started trading on the stock market, and that's something new for me and it's novel. Okay. So it's new. That's one thing your
Mhm.
brain needs, is something new. Another thing your brain needs is something that you like. Your brain will remember things, and your brain will be changed, and you'll be able to make new neural networks if you like something, if you're interested in it. And I just happen to be interested. It's always been on my bucket list, always wanted to trade. So I started doing that for myself, and it does. I mean, I have to study industries now. I have to study, the futures, the markets. So that's good. That's good for me. And I also, yeah, another thing I did was I started painting. Like I said, I've been creative. I love to make products, like that. So I started painting. I do oil paintings and acrylic paintings, and these are paintings that I hope to sell. So I mean, there's a purpose behind it. But again, see, that lets me unplug from the world.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the time when I can go in there. I put on the classical music, I paint for a couple hours, and actually I don't think about anything else. Yeah, no worries, no agenda, no nothing. And I am really fortunate that I have this time in my life when I can do that. But I guess my takeaway here is that we all need to be doing things for our brain, like
Mm.
yeah, every day. That's, it's a non-negotiable. If you want
Right.
to, if you want to age well, do things for your brain. And it also makes you more creative.
Mm.
The reverse side of this would be, it's just, you're just going to get stale, and you're going to not be thinking as well, and not be as functional and things like that. So I
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
that's a
I guess that could definitely lead to things like depression and what have you,
mhm,
because you need to keep your brain going. I'm an old dog, but I
mm,
still like to learn new tricks. And
mhm,
this like the podcasting world. This is relatively new to me. I've been doing it for a few years, but I've gotten more serious about it and trying to make a business out of it. And I'm still there's lots of stuff that I need to learn, and like you said, you find something that you enjoy. I didn't even know that I would enjoy
mm,
this as much as I do. And
mm,
I look to the younger generation to kind of help me out. I don't understand the
mm,
algorithms and all this other
mhm,
stuff. They know all that. Teach me, I
mhm,
want to learn. I also like to paint and draw, and I've gotten more into the sculpting. I encourage anybody out there to find something to get away from this world for a little bit. It's very important to know what's going on in the world, but sometimes you need to get away from it. You need that escape. Otherwise, it'll consume your life. Let's get on to talking about the business. Okay, somebody like me comes to you and I say, I'm really serious about this. I want to learn more. Podcasting is my life. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. How do I become more successful? I'm throwing my life into your hands. How can you help me?
Okay. Yeah. I have a program. I kind of customize my programs. I can set up a 4-week program, 6-week program where I can teach you the basics, and actually not only the basics, but you will in 6 weeks understand how to be at your highest level, and you'll understand what you need to do to meet your goals. And so I just take you through this process that I've have come up with to make you healthier and also to get you on the path to success. And I teach you this 4-step method that also is something that it never ends. You just kind of start over, Yeah, so it's just one of those revolving things. Yeah, but doing that, and I'm very dedicated to helping people like work with their clients, like not maybe firsthand, but I say, bring out your projects, look at them with your team, where are your downfalls? Where do you want to get better? How can we make this a better product for you and your clients so that whoever they serve will have better health and well-being through what we put into your products. And say, for instance, like architects, designers, I love talking to them because they have that physical space. But and your physical space is so important for your brain and your body. And as a therapist, we're so concerned with safety. We got to keep them safe, and we got to have this so high, and we have to have a grab bar here. Now, I mean, all that's good. And sometimes it's extremely necessary, but are we looking at the challenges that keep your brain healthy so that you can actually increase your function rather than decreasing and declining? And sometimes if you put your environment, even for you and me, if we make our environment too safe, our bodies and brains will start to decline, So I help people, brainstorm and see how they can change up their environment and, challenge themselves every day with certain, activities in their space. And I mean, even hanging up art that is stimulating and wakes you up, I help people, with this sensory stimulation, wake your brain up and learn, And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about personal development. I want people to achieve more, be creative, be at their highest level. So, they can put into the world what they were meant to put into the world. I think we all have a purpose, and I want to help people live out that purpose because it's them. They're unique. They have creativity that they probably don't even know about. And everybody is extremely unique. But it's just, pushing away the world for a little bit and saying, who am I? What am I supposed to do here? And how do I get there? And that's what I like to help people do.
Yeah, well, we're geared to be comfortable. And I always tell everyone, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's how you grow. I wanted to ask you something else about what you do, so that there's nothing really generic about it. You do a lot of research and basically do the research for the people that you're helping.
Yes, I do. And I try to make it a kind of a done for you program, where I have like, if you need to work with a client, or you even need to work with your aging parents, or whoever you need to work with, I've got all the questions that you should be asking them, and how to develop not only yourself, but your clients, your parents, whoever, your children, but I have that all kind of done for you. But at the same time, I want people to know that they can continually grow. And, in every stage, like I'm 60 years old and I'm starting a business, I didn't really have this in my plan book, but or playbook, but here I am, and I'm loving it. I'm loving that I can have this new creative career that is extremely stimulating to me, I was really, after 36 years in physical therapy, I really want to step out of the clinic now, and I want to do something different. So I feel very fortunate that I can, but yeah, I want people to know that, you don't, it really is a journey,
Mm,
and kind of the best part about it is a journey. There's not an ending point. So, when you know that there's not an ending point, I think you enjoy your life more.
yeah.
Because I'm on a journey. Every day will be different, and it'll be full of wonderful things and surprises, and maybe some letdowns, but that's all part of it.
Oh, exactly.
And yeah.
Well, it's something fulfilling about reinventing yourself. That's kind of been my MO from since I was a teenager. It's always trying to reinvent and expand. I think people probably think, oh, well, you know what, I'm getting older. I'm pretty much where I'm at. That's when you stop living. Do you run across those folks that are like, you know what, I'm pretty much at the end of my life anyway. What should motivate me? Do you run across those folks? And if you do, how do you change that mindset?
Mhm. Yeah, and I do run across people like that. And what I do is I try to help them find their kind of get reconnected with their like their life vision or their purpose. And I think, if we all go back to our childhood, kind of in maybe an earlier part of our childhood, I think that we kind of knew who we were back
Mm,
then. I mean, I had a pretty strong sense of who I was when I was a child. And I must admit, I had a good childhood. There weren't a lot of agendas, as far as playing. Yeah, we got to play all the time. It was wonderful, But yeah, I try to get people to connect with their life vision. And, and I tell people, like with their aging parents, I say you might have to tweak that a little bit.
mm,
If your parent was a huge sports fan, try to get them involved in some way, again, with maybe their teams or or if they had a certain charity that they, supported all their life, try to get them reconnected in a way with that type, or just find out what makes them, or if they raised a large family, see how they can really get connected, with them. And but I think it all comes down to our life purpose, because that's what gets us out of bed in the morning. you know
yes.
yeah, if we don't have a purpose, why are we going to put our feet on the floor, stand up and take on the day? We just aren't. So I think it really, but some people do give up, and they don't think they have any, but I think it's the strengths and the life purpose that get us going.
Yeah, definitely. I see it a lot where people just is like, you know what, I've had enough, and they give
Mhm.
up. I mean, there's people around my age, and I mean, I'm in my 50s, but I see too many of friends and family that have given up and are passing away, and
Mm,
this is still
mhm,
relatively young,
mhm,
but it's like they have no will to get up out of bed anymore. Like, why am I even here? And there's so much that people can contribute. I mean, there's other people out there that need someone. Give your time to them, you
mhm,
know. And once you kind of get other people's, I don't want to say get involved with their problems, but when you focus on other people and the things they're going through, then your problems kind of lessen. At least that seems that way to me. Now you're an author as well.
yes.
Okay. And what's the name of your book? And can you tell us just a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah. It's called The Art of Assisting Aging Parents.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I took that, from my 36 years as a therapist and helping my own aging parents. Again, I drew up that framework, and just what needs to go into being a good caregiver. And one thing you have to do is care for yourself. If you don't care for yourself, you'll be burned out, and physically and mentally. So you first have to care for yourself, and it's really a proactive aging process. And we all need to do it. And what we need to do is we need to build up our bodies and brains to take us into the 70s, 80s, and 90-year-olds that we want to be.
Yeah.
And the more you build it up now in your middle ages, the more they call it cognitive reserve. And that's just like your brain has this reserve in it that you can rely on as you get older. And they do say that 90% of dementia is preventable. So we need to prevent that. And, it's this proactive aging process that you can get on is wonderful. And, what you do for yourself is you take care of yourself. And then, of course, most of us will be taking care of our aging parents, and more because of, COVID, the pandemic. We want to keep them safe. And, there are suggestions, on how to do that in the home, versus having them have to go somewhere. And, if they stop being involved in groups, you can actually bring the groups into the home. And bring your family members, bring the friends, make dinner together. It's just the little things. It really is the little things that make a huge difference in your life.
Now, where can people purchase your book?
It's on Amazon.com.
Okay.
And I do have a website where, but I have a link on my website to Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
Okay, if you could share that link with me so I can put your website in the description so people can go to it.
Okay.
And do you have social media that people can follow?
Yes, I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. I don't have very much of a presence yet on Instagram, but those two. Yeah.
Yeah, well, us older folks, we kind of still stick with Facebook.
Yeah, we do.
I've had to get the younger folks to help me with the Instagram, but it is what it is. I definitely want to share that out. I think people can benefit from your knowledge and maybe give them a new purpose. I would like to seek out some more help from you myself, because even though I've had to retire and I'm not physically able to do some of the things I used to, that doesn't mean I can give up. I want to do something. And I think this is, of course, what I'm meant to do. I enjoy it so much. And I just feel like there's somebody else out there that they're watching this or they're listening to this and they're like, you know what, I want to change my career, or I've always wanted to start my own business, didn't know quite how to do it. And, they can come to you and they can get that advice and maybe get that encouragement. When you do your speaking, is it mainly for just your business, or do you go on a tour or anything like that?
Well, right now it's mainly just for therapists.
Okay.
But I am, I'm in the first stages of getting more, a little bit more exposure.
Right.
So but no, I'm open to speaking to groups for sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you could go to a company and you could speak in front of that company.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, maybe I could help you out in that department. I'll see what I can do, because that's what we're all about. We should help each other in any way that we can. Is there any other advice you'd like to give before we end this conversation?
I would just like to tell people to just remember and how unique you are and how creative you are. Yeah, and get in touch with that. Don't wait too long. Just get in touch, stay in touch, and start doing little things today for yourself.
Well, I'm going to definitely share out all your info, and I want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you being here, and keep up the good work. I look forward to seeing what can blossom from this. And
thank you for having me. I so appreciate it.
Of course. And anytime you'd like to come back, you have anything else you'd like to talk about, any new projects, anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll have you on anytime.
Oh, thank you.
And so anybody that's here for the first time to the channel, thank you for coming. I hope you'll come back. I hope you subscribe and share this out. And for those of you who continue to support us, thank you, because I wouldn't be able to do what I do without you. And until the next time, everyone, take care, God bless, and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network